Hello everyone. So I'm in Shenzhen and I came here for some hardware sourcing for a company. So I thought I should post about what are my thoughts on China and in general what's going on in the world. And so here it is. First of all, you come to China, any small city, big city, you see that the tech adoption is phenomenal. It's much ahead of anywhere else in the world. So you see, small autonomous garbage cleaning vehicles on roads. You see them, mopping airports. So these are like big Roombas, but you know, much more commercial versions of them. And you see a lot of small innovations all over really, right? So it's very good. It's much more cleaner, and construction laws have been changed quite a lot. So last time I would see that there was a lot of dust and smoke, but not this time. And if so, I saw a building being demolished, and they were spraying water all over to make sure no dust escaped. So all those things have been cleaned up a lot. And then another thing is it's still very top to bottom, right? So for example, I asked a taxi guy, so people are like really, why are they spraying water on demolishing buildings? And he said, they don't want any dust to be outside because it's President Xi's agenda, right? So the point is, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but the fact that they said that it's President Xi's agenda rather than saying that because they want to keep a clean environment, just tells me a lot, right? And like how China operates, the mentality. And then they're also not really very worried about USA decoupling from China, because I spoke to a lot of vendors of electronics in Shenzhen, and companies small and large. So, and I generally do discuss this, what do you think about the political relationships between US and China? And they say that for us, we care about supply, and we're already diversifying who do we sell to. And the whole of Europe buys from us, the whole of Africa, Latam. So we are not very worried if US decouples from China. I don't know how practical that is going to be. US is still a very big economy, and in practice actually the decoupling is not very visible to these guys, at least on the on the ground. And so not everything is very rosy, right? It's still a very closed culture, right? People don't speak English at all. In fact, I feel that from 5 years ago, people probably have been speaking less English, and I was expecting that at least in airports staff would be speaking English. And yeah, so that's very surprising. People don't speak English at all. Even international airports, and like people selling stuff, or waiters in restaurants in airports, those are the people you expect to speak English the most. I mean, if anywhere else, but yeah, they don't really. So English is bad. Bureaucracy is very bad still, right? So I had like a small package I was like taking as a sample back to Dubai, and the process was a nightmare. The moment they saw a cardboard box packed up, they said, okay, I have to pay extra, and they sent me from kiosk to kiosk. Nobody really know what to do. Everybody was, and it was just a 10 kg package, right? Everybody was just like trying to send me from kiosk to kiosk. And in the end, when I did pay and they sent me to the final kiosk, supposedly the guy said, okay, there are two fees, right? One of which I have paid, and the other one I still had to pay. And I protested at that point, and they eventually kind of let me go. So I'm pretty sure I would not have paid the first fee also, because that was the only package which I had to check in, and it was just 10 kgs. So the only reason why I had to check in was because they saw that it's a cardboard package. So this, and I didn't speak English. So it's pretty bureaucracy heavy still. and people were still very clueless. And another thing that I realized is, people are very oblivious to what's going on in the world, right? I mean, I spoke to people about the Hamas war, the Ukraine war. I mean, they knew what was going on, that there is some war going on, but they had like absolutely no views about it. That I don't know, it doesn't really affecting me at all. So it was very astonishing to me to see that like people in some of the most technologically advanced cities in the world are so oblivious to what's going on in the world. Maybe it's a good thing, I don't know, because we have a little too much of news everywhere. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's very surprising to me. Another example, I spoke to a few people about Jack Ma, right? And one guy knew about that he was abducted, and he said something as Xi Jinping, and then he was kind of removed from Alibaba's position and all that stuff, the stuff that we know. But 3 people actually said that yeah, he's very rich, so now he's he doesn't need to work anymore, and he's basically just retired and kind of lives a low life and invests and just kind of has fun, which is pretty surprising to me. So people don't really know much about what's going on in the world. So my thoughts are, in the long term, right? If you think about, if I talk to people who are like semi-successful in China or successful people, right, they're all worried about what tomorrow the Chinese government might come out with, right? So they are all preparing these backup plans, at least having multiple locations to have their wealth in, and so they don't really trust the government, right? I think if I look at India, everybody knows that okay, it's a democracy, right? Nothing can go terribly wrong, nothing can go completely haywire, because there is a process and no one person can go crazy and just change the course of the country. And I think long term, this is like a country is as strong or as good as how smart people, or how many good people or the best people want to live in that country, right? And right now I think every person, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of people are getting successful, but the moment they become successful in China, they want to move out, right? And I think long term this is going to catch up, and this could be really, really bad. So in my opinion, right, I think it's a new kind of a Cold War. Last Cold War was between socialism and capitalism, but this one is, I think, between democracies and dictatorships. Dictatorships look very cleaner from outside, everything is very fast, the growth is very fast, but I think there's a lot of unrest within, right? People are not happy, people are always looking to to leave. And in case of democracies, they're very messy, very chaotic from the outside. You don't see a lot of order, but people feel the freedom, and they prefer to be in democracies. So let's see what happens. I don't know. I mean, I don't really I'm not a predictions person, but I feel that it's very interesting time. And as a entrepreneur, I feel that China is definitely having a lot of opportunities, but the moment you get successful, I think it's not really a place to live. Similar to India in some sense. So yeah. So let me catch a flight. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye bye.